folks, so we are running an 84-inch Roto Rake from Reist Industries on a John Deere 333G skid steer. 84 inches wide. This machine's about 78 inches wide, so you can angle it a bit and still cover the tracks, cover the width of it, which is good. So this is up near the front of the property. Again, I think we probably have some footage, maybe not directly of it, but you can see the big brush pile that we had that I moved out of the way, and you'll see it kind of spread along the edge there too. So got that moved out of the way with the debris grapple first. And there's some deep depressions that were actually full of water, and I tried to shove some dirt down in there and pack it down and drive over it, but it's still kind of boggy, and you'll see that later in the video. I ended up coming back through after we got the main brush pile taken care of, used a landscape rake to get a lot of the bigger chunks of debris out of here, and then wanted to use this Roto Rake. I think it's a better intended application. The first time we used it was for a driveway, and that was more or less just to kind of get a feel for the piece of equipment, how it operates, how it functions, and just to get our feet wet, I guess, with it. So it'd been a few weeks. I kind of did the same thing again, made a couple initial passes to get a feel for the angle, the adjustments, front and back, left, right, up and down, all that kind of stuff. This is is it a 6-way? Well, let's see here. You can angle forward and backwards with the loader, and then you can angle with the hydraulics on the Roto Rake. You can angle left to right, and you can rock it. You can pitch it up or down, left to right too. So you have I guess that's 6 ways. So you have a lot of flexibility here, and you'll see I play around with it a lot, trying to kind of almost get like a trash line built and kind of work down towards the edge of the marsh there too, and work my way around this hill, kind of grading it, smoothing it out a bit. So this rake has carbide teeth on it, and they kind of go through pretty much whatever you want to. Now the downside is that because this is a hydraulic system, it will, maybe like you've seen a brush mulcher do on my skid steer as well, it'll bog the whole system down and stop the rotor from spinning, and you can reverse that and unclog it or just back up and get away from the big pile of debris. It's not exactly like a tiller. You know, a tiller, you would have to go a lot slower, like really slow. It'll till down deeper, work more earth. This is just kind of skimming that top inch or two of earth and just trying to smooth out the rough spots and just kind of taper and feather everything in together so there's not these big, huge humps. It's more of like a final grading or a finish tool right before you're going to seed, which is really the point that I'm at. I'm going to throw a lot of wildflower seed down here this fall and try to get this to really get into shape and just dress it up the front of the property for next year. Now, all that said, I think even after I'm done with this, I may come back through with even the landscape rake one more time just to do to catch all the little sticks and smaller rocks and things that just kind of popped up that were hidden underneath the soil that the Roto Rake kind of exposed. And I probably will spray. I'm probably going to spray just to keep that initial weed competition down and let the wildflower seeds kind of take hold and germinate and create that canopy and hopefully kind of choke out or starve out the weeds, or at least get a jump start on them. Alrighty folks, so we are going to give the power rake another try today. I'm going to put some Outback wrap, sent some more hose tamers. I'm going to put those on, and then right here they've got what are they called, a safe strip bat wrap, so you can kind of tie up your hoses out of the way. On the skid steer in particular, lots of times I feel like I'm in danger of either having hoses get pinched back here in the ram area or being exposed out to the side. So I'm going to try to kind of tie them off, I think right to this handle maybe. I don't know, maybe over here, I don't know, somewhere, and see if I can make this thing work for me too. But another thing to notice, take a look at this. Look at this one versus the other one over there. So Chris and I were just looking back at the video that we did, and these both started out in the same position. Then sometime throughout the course of the video, this one dropped down. There's no nuts holding these onto the bolt, so maybe they just thread right through there and they're supposed to hold in place. I don't know what's going on, but I think I'm going to adjust that one down the whole way, give it a shot, see what happens. But have an area up front. I cleared out a whole bunch of dead trees and brush that were stacked up, I think from when those couple of ponds up near the front by the driveway went in. And then we had some flooding a couple of years ago. I'm assuming it was a bunch of dead timber that they just kind of cut down and stacked up. So I want to turn that into wildflowers. So I'm going to kind of work that ground up. I think that's going to be a pretty good application for this tool as well. Give that a shot and see how it goes. There's a lot of reasons you might want to use this Outback wrap. If you want to identify certain hoses that go to certain outlets, if you want to protect them, you know, and I've had these get pinched and crushed, and literally had this Outback wrap provide that extra protection on there. If you just want to dress it up a bit, you know, from the cab, whether it's in the skid steer or on a tractor, you know, like on a grapple or something else that's out front, it is nice to know where your hoses are at. If you're in some real nasty brush or some thick stuff, or you have something grappled on, it's good to kind of have that visual indicator of where your hoses are at to make sure that they are not getting entangled and ensnared and going to get snagged on something else and damaged. So even just from the visibility standpoint, this stuff is really nice. They're part of the discount club, outbackwrap.com, 5% off with the code GWT. A lot of different, huh? 10%. Oh yeah. They're part of the Outback. They're part of the discount club, They're part of the discount club, outbackwrap.com. You get 10% off with code GWT on their website. Good stuff, nice little upgrade if you're looking for a, you know, maybe even a cheaper gift, you know, to give for Father's Day or a birthday or Christmas or whatever. A good solution for that as well. Nice way to dress it up and protect it too. So for us, I don't think we're going to use the bat wrap on this one. You know, it turns out we've got this nice anchor point here, and then not a lot of slop compared to like my my grapple and what else, my mulcher, and I've got a 4-way bucket. Even the pallet forks have a lot longer hoses on them that they'll be like way out over here. So these are kind of actually doing pretty good where they're at. So we're gonna leave this off today. Not a natural anchor point to put them on there with the hose configuration we have right now, but I can see those being handy in some of our other applications. Alright folks, so we just got wrapped up with using the rake here. Did a pretty good job. This is a tool that has a learning curve. There's no doubt about it. Probably one of the more challenging tools for me as an operator that I've had to learn. And I don't have it down yet completely. I think I'm improving a little bit, but it's just going to take a lot of hours behind here on really understanding it all. You know, I took these close ends that are kind of adjustable. I took those completely off. They were, the first time I used it, really trapping a lot of extra material in here and really bogging down the machine. I don't think that they were necessary for our application, but they do help treat it more like a box blade if you really want to kind of push material from point A to point B. I probably should have, in hindsight, taken off these teeth on the backside that will help define an edge if you wanted to. They were unnecessary for this job, and in fact, they were kind of picking up trash too, because there's certain areas that had more sod or longer grasses in it, and they were kind of letting that stuff pile up, and that was causing its own set of problems. So probably take those off next time. They have their application too, but those aren't required, and so you can take them on and off, and that's kind of the point of the whole thing. And again, this tool is not for the faint of heart, not for the guy that's just got one small little project going on. It's a very expensive attachment. You can get the pricing depending on your setup. You can get it right over on our website. You can get it for a skid steer or for a tractor on the backside on your PTO as well. But they're a pricey outfit. Again, nothing that we rent. You may be able to find something you can rent somewhere around you too. That could be a good option for you to look into. But if you're a landscaper or you have a construction company, or you want to add something in your portfolio for services for other folks, and this could be a good tool to consider. And if anything, it's at least fun to watch it in action. You know, this big old skid steer is a lot of fun. It has a lot of power, really cool tools that work along with it. But you know, I do think that I could have prepped for seed with potentially just my landscape rake. You know, just continuing to do pass after pass after pass, taking the, you know, kind of those rougher humps out of the soil, taking the extra trash out of there, working that surface lightly, and then coming through and spraying and seeding. I don't know. I'm almost convinced that might have had the same effect. Maybe not quite as good. You know, looking at it out in the distance there, it does look like it really graded it out and smoothed it out quite a bit overall. So there are some definite improvements. But you know, this thing, again, there's some areas that still have grass in it. It shows how shallow this thing goes. It doesn't really get down through roots. It's not a tiller. So it's going down really shallow, and that's kind of the result you see there is still with those grass patches in there. And again, another reason why I probably end up hitting this with spray. Alrighty folks, well, hopefully you enjoyed that. You know, if you are looking for an attachment, Doesn't have to be the Rotorake, but we sell all sorts of stuff, primarily for tractors, for the front end loader and the 3-point hitch, but we sell stuff for skid steers too. Check out goodworkstractors.com. If you enjoyed today's video, we'd love to have you tag along. Hit that subscribe button right down below. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to stop by, and until next time, stay safe. We'll see you soon.